All right, just a quick warning. I have a dark sense of humor. All right. So if you don't, you might want to skip this one. I'm just saying. But here's some random news over the last 2-ish days. It's just random news from all over the place. Just remember that I warned you. Okay. Good talk. Major explosion kills 3 at gunpowder factory working 24/7 to make rocket launchers and air defense systems for war on Ukraine. Okay, so this was in Russia apparently. Major explosion only killed 3 people at a gunpowder factory. I mean, that's like worst case scenario, man. Freaking gunpowder plant caught fire. Dang, man. Yeah, that sucks. Building also makes engine charges for aircraft missiles, booster systems for cruise missiles, and products for A-135 missile defense system. Wow. Engine charges for aircraft missiles. I think what that means is, well, air-to-air missiles, okay? They're solid fuel missiles. They don't use liquid fuel. They're like boosters on the space shuttle, the solid rocket boosters. Apparently, this place makes that, and it caught fire. It's like bad. That's bad. I don't think you put that out. I think you just kind of let that do its thing and run. I think you run fast. Some witnesses claim to have seen the explosion. Yeah, I would think so. I don't think that's the factory. That looks like an office headquarters. Hopefully not a factory because that's an apartment building behind it. Let's go ahead and hope that wasn't the factory. Oh, so this isn't the first time this has happened. An earlier explosion at the same Perm Defense plant came on 01 May, in which 3 women were killed. In that explosion, an eyewitness told the newspaper the building just flew into the air. New York City man arrested after allegedly killing victim who confronted him for not saying thank you. Edwin Mendoza, 42, arrested Friday, allegedly fatally stabbing a man who confronted him for his bad manners after opening the door of a smoke shop. Oh yeah, they fighting. Nunez, 37, opened the door of a smoke shop in Brooklyn for Pedroza, 42. Pedroza walked in without saying thank you. Nunez confronted him, and the fighting escalated, and Pedroza allegedly displayed a knife, stabbed Nunez in the abdomen and neck, then fled. Nunez went to the hospital. He's pronounced dead. Wow, that escalated quickly. Yeah, not really much to say about that. I mean, it is New York. Right? What's the first rule of New York City? Everybody knows. Don't go to New York City. And if you are in New York City, don't talk to anyone. I mean, actually just don't go to New York City. Mom told she can't breastfeed in museum because no food or drink. What? No food or drink allowed. Faye found a quiet corner to feed him because he started to cry while the husband took the older daughter to go look at stuff. She positioned herself with a pillow to her back and buggy in front to act as a screen. She was breastfeeding her bebe. She noticed a woman walk by, give her a funny sideways glance. I guess Faye made a joke to lighten the mood. I hope you don't mind. I just made this my breastfeeding corner. What else you gonna do? Make eye contact and make it weird? And may as well make a joke. After some silence, the woman replied, actually, no, it's not okay because no food and drink are allowed to be consumed in the museum. There's a cafe upstairs. She said she stared at her jaw open slightly. Didn't know what to say. No food or drink allowed. You have to go to the cafe to breastfeed. Even the bebe has to eat at the cafe, I guess. This is ridiculous. Rules are rules, I guess, huh? The baby's the one consuming the food or drink. So does that mean they just kick the baby out of the museum and the mom can stay? I mean, I would have made the argument. It's not me. He did it. Deal with him. I'm staying in the museum. Then hold the baby up to her so she can address the offender. Definitely record that, because that's hilarious. Just totally rat your kid out. Like, it's not me, it's him. Security guard shoots syringe-wielding theft subject in the face in Harbor East. That was in Baltimore. Again, don't go to Baltimore. Security guard shot a syringe-wielding theft suspect in the face Friday. Why do they keep saying, what? Like he shot him in the face? He shot somebody. Well, he shot him in the face. Baltimore police said officers were called around 0900 to the CVS store for shooting. A man was seen stealing items, tried to leave with it. Security guard confronted the man, who then pulled out a needle syringe and tried to stab the security guard. Security guard then shot the man in the face. He didn't just shoot him, he shot him in the face. He was taken to a hospital in critical condition. The shootee, not the shooter. So he brought a syringe to a gunfight. Yeah, don't do that. Don't. Just same thing, right? Like, don't go to New York City. Don't bring a syringe to a gunfight. Don't go to Baltimore. And don't go to museums in Cambridge if your kid's trying to steal your milk. Stealthy Scrabble variants are poised to drive a winter... Oh, come on. No. We're not doing this. No. We're done. We're done with it. So, CNN, take your little BQ1, BQ 1.1, BA7, BA4, take all that. Take all that. Take all your little toys, put them in your bag, go home, you play with them. Everybody else, sick of it. We're done. Shut up. I ain't even reading that. I mean, get the hell out of here. Okay, apparently these climate activists super glued their hands to the floor at a Volkswagen dealership, and they're whining because Volkswagen did not provide them a bowl to urinate and defecate in a decent manner. There's nothing decent about that. And they turned off the heating. They probably closed, right? Like, it's a business. They don't stay there all night. It closed. So your hand was super glued to the floor. That's not their problem. You went in there, super glued your hand to the floor, and when it came time to close, the employees said, "Hey, y'all have a good one." Apparently it hurt their feelings. Why would they think that Volkswagen would have a bowl for them? You're not going to poop in my bowl. I mean, would they think somebody brought their lunch in a bowl and would give them the bowl to poop? Man, no, man, bowls are not cheap. I mean, I'm going to take it home, wash it, and use it again. You're not going to poop in it. Get the hell out of here. Whoa. Pilot has been safely recovered after ejecting from an F-35 crash in Utah. 20 October. Pilot safely recovered. F-35 combat aircraft crashed at Hill Air Force Base, south of Ogden, Utah. It was last Wednesday. Crashed around 18:15 north end of the base's runway. He ejected, was recovered, taken to medical center for observation. Oh, he was on his way back. This wasn't after takeoff. This was, he was on his way back from a routine training mission when he ejected from the jet. I mean, the F-35 ejection systems are probably pretty advanced, but either way you cut it, ejecting, they pull a lot of G's when they do that. It's not gradual, okay? In order to safely leave an aircraft traveling at the speeds these things are capable of, especially these fifth generation fighters, F-22, F-35, you have to rapidly depart the cockpit. The wind over the aircraft body is so great that you want to go from inside to outside as fast as possible. So these ejection seats, I mean, they basically, it's an explosion. Like, they blast you out of the cockpit, because if you were to go slowly, like if you were to say open the canopy and just hold your hand up in the airstream, it would probably amputate, and I think this actually has happened. It would amputate your hand or whatever part of your body you put out there or break it. Like if you've ever stuck your hand out of a car window, you know that force you feel, the wind, right? Magnify that by 1,000, and that's what you get in these aircraft. I mean, they travel hundreds of miles per hour in a matter of seconds. Ejecting sucks. No wonder they took him to the hospital. And just the blast of being, jettisoned by explosion. I mean, ejecting can kill you. Just the simple force, the strain. I mean, it can paralyze you, can break your back. It's a last ditch, like Hail Mary type thing. And I'm sure they've gotten safer, over the years, but it's still a last ditch thing. Like, it's gonna suck either way. Not something you do for fun ever. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, hell of a pilot. He's flying low. Looks like maybe an Mi-24 Hind. It's hard to tell. Now, sometimes the reason they'll do this, especially with an attack chopper like that, if you fly along the road, low, you can usually avoid radar, and you also kind of look like traffic from above. I mean, there's good reasons to do it, but damn, that's a hell of a pilot. Might be a pretty freaky sight if you were to see it. Woman found dead in bin in driveway of Staten Island home. Last Friday, a woman was found dead inside a large bin in the driveway. The body was discovered by a neighbor around 0545 in the driveway of a home on Heberton Avenue, Port Richmond. I don't know where the freak that is. Police EMS responded. She was pronounced dead. Investigators said it appeared the victim was dumped there after an apparent drug overdose. So there was an all-night party. Apparently this woman OD'd and died. Tragic. That sucks. And the other people at the party just threw her in the garbage and rolled her out to the curb. Nobody will suspect a thing. She was wrapped in a blanket. No other signs of trauma. They brought the tenant to the apartment where they believe the woman died in for questioning. No charges were immediately filed. I guess he didn't know this happened. Maybe he went to bed. So they're looking for the guy who dumped her in the trash can and just rolled her out. I wonder if it was even trash day, like the next day. Or were they just thinking that, we'll just roll the trash out early? I mean, how long was it gonna, when is trash day? And I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so it looks like, Monday. Yeah, they were way too early to just roll the bin out to the curb. I mean, they still had 2 more days, They're gonna leave it Hey, I warned you. Are they gonna leave it there all weekend? It's not good. They're not coming for the entire weekend, I mean, it's New York, right? It's not like it gets hot this time of year, but still, their body in the trash can. It's no way to go through life. Driver with stab wounds crashes car into telephone pole in Billerica. Looks like this happened Saturday. Massachusetts. Driver suffering stab wounds crashed. Police say they received reports of a car hitting a telephone pole. At 0800, officials said all 4 people in the van suffered non-life-threatening injuries, including the driver, who had been stabbed multiple times. So there's like yelling, arguing, stabbing, crashing, and that's just Saturday morning. Police showed up, started grabbing them once they realized what happened. They didn't really have their story straight. One of them had thrown a knife over here. There was blood all over that. People were laying on the ground. It got a little crazy, according to a bystander. Apparently somebody else up there who had been stabbed, he jumped out of the car because they were stabbing him. Very busy Saturday morning, especially at 0800, man. I don't know, but I'm really bad at mornings, so at 0800, I'm like trying to still get conscious, I'm not driving around stabbing people in a car and crashing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Last but not least, Apparently there was a rally for making it illegal to mutilate children. The whole transgender, I don't even know why we're having a debate about this. Kids can't buy cigarettes, kids can't drink, kids can't vote, kids can't go to strip clubs. No plastic surgery for children. Obviously, there are people in this country that disagree with that. There were, of course, counter-protesters there from the side that believes that, mutilating children is okay. I'll just leave you with some scenes of the counter-protesters because they're delightful. Well, I'll just let them make their side of the argument for themselves, because that's what you do, right? If you're a counter-protester, you're there to change people's minds. Okay, here is their argument.
You white cracker! You ugly pieces! You look like you got your teeth knocked out, you fascist! Nobody knows who you are and nobody cares, and you will die alone! You will die alone and you will burn in hell!
Yeah, than that. Have a good one.